Gabe, it is the season to climb the wide receiver ladder. And in a 12-team start 11 best ball league, full PPR, you trading away Marvin Harrison and the 203 for 104, 105, and a 2026 third?
Oh man, Ty. I think I kind of lean the Marvin Harrison side on this one.
Ooh, let's talk about it.
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me. Hurt my feelings.
Welcome on in, everyone. I'm Ty at TyDeclare44. That's Gabe at IGabe_FF on X. And this is another episode of the All Gas Trade Show. Welcome in. Gabe, we got hella deals to get to this week, so I don't want to belabor the point. How are you doing, my friend? And happy Saturday.
Yeah, man. Happy Saturday, brother. I am doing great. Ready to talk some football with you and hopefully get to, mess with you a little bit later this week if the Kansas City Chiefs lose to the Eagles. That's definitely something I'm looking forward to as well.
I'll do a quick story. My friend group, we have a memes chat where we send memes back and forth. And we have a rule. If someone sends a meme that's already been sent, they get punished. I messed up. I sent 2 memes in the same week. So I'm probably going to have to watch the first quarter of the game on my phone vertically as my punishment.
Oh.
So here's to that. But yes, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a hella game. You're definitely going to rib me if the Chiefs lose.
Oh, 100%. Although I would, on the flip side of that, I would like to say that my Houston Texans lost to the champions, because then it makes me feel a little bit better about the situation. But, we'll figure that out.
Yeah, no, you've used that excuse before, so, might as well dust that one off and keep using it. But yes, welcome into the show, everyone. ddfantasyfootball.com is the place that you can find pretty much everything you need. All right, Trinity Tracker, War Machine, everything. Look in the description of this video. We got our codes, trades, trade GOAT, get 50% off the all conference plus Discord tier, or the GOAT tier, get access to everything. Underdog, it's underdog season, Gabe. They've got to start brushing off on the big board, little board. Head on over to Underdog, use code ALLGAS, get your special pick and up to $1,000 in bonus cash with your sign up. First time only, Gabe. So if you're already in there, I'm sorry, you can't get more, but if you're new, you can get that. And patreon.com/allgas, a good old tried and true method of Patreon, still get you in the door and get you access to some of the things DD has going on. But Gabe, we got a lot of trades to hit, like I said, so I ain't gonna drag this out. Diaz hit us hard early, 12 by 11 Superflex, tiered PPR, so wide receivers get up to 1, 30-man roster, point per first down bonuses. The big thing here, best ball. He has Kyler, probably going to move him when he gets the chance to. But Diaz gets into 104, 105, and a 26 third for Marv and 203. And I mean, I'm trying to think of this in a couple different ways, right? Like in best ball, like I don't need to smash the top end of wide receiver if I'm constructed correctly. But I mean, having a Marv is really nice. Getting a 203, that's a requisite pick in the second round that I definitely want in best ball. But I mean, getting 104, 105, you can do a lot with that, Gabe. And I know if that's in your hands or in Diaz's hands, I doubt you're making those picks. You're using those picks to go and do something else with it. So talk to me about is the flexibility of both sides. And then you mentioned you're probably on the Marv side. So walk me through that.
Yeah, man, I think this is a good deal just in general, right? I think for both sides of the coin, this is going to be a good deal. But to your point, I think I want to give Marvin Harrison a little bit more grace before I'm ready to kind of just pencil him in as like a tier down type of guy right now, especially because what you're doing is you're getting rid of Marvin Harrison Jr., who has not solidified his dynasty asset or his dynasty value where he was previously, but he's still in the top 12 easily in dynasty wide receivers, right? And so what you'd essentially be doing is down tiering from that and hoping that one of these guys, which we've seen like 104, 105 tie is what Caleb Johnson, Omarion Hampton,
sometimes Tet, sometimes maybe quarterbacks.
Yeah. So I mean, you're kind of aspiring these guys to kind of become, not necessarily what Marv is, because I mean, he hasn't really amounted to what we thought he would be, but he holds a ton of value. I just feel like I'm getting a little bit more security with the asset because to your point, like the expectations were super high with Marvin Harrison Jr. And while he didn't deliver, he hasn't really like I mean, he's dropped for sure in dynasty value, but he's not like down like in the dirt, right? And I think the 203 is kind of what sways me a little bit here, because the 203, to your point, is still a very good pick towards where you're going to be able to get a guy. And, you know, we had talked about it previously, but we've seen Travis Hunter too fall to some of these ranks, right? And we've seen, we've seen a couple of other guys, you know, Mims has fallen here. You know, we've gotten maybe Jackson Dart. Like, there's a couple of nice little pieces that have fallen to the 203, man, that I just feel like I'd be willing to bet on my league mates messing up in the draft if I had to make the selection. And then I can just take best available. And I still have Marvin Harrison Jr., who I would take, you know, over either one of these picks 1 for 1.
Yeah, I mean, 1 for 1, it's not a question. It's Marv.
Yeah.
I guess it just comes to the flexibility, getting the deal done now where we haven't even hit the combine yet, right? So
correct.
I guess a couple things that I've seen so far in the community, right, is one, we don't know where to put Travis Hunter. Like you said, he's going to be an athlete until he's not. And I really doubt we get that clarification on draft day. So if we don't have the guarantee that he's going to be playing offense full time, I think he's going to slip naturally in the draft. And then quarterback. I mean, I think we as a dynasty community are underselling the fact that if any of these quarterbacks go top 10, top 15, like, we're not going to be able to help ourselves. And like 1-4, 1-5, you'll definitely have access to quarterback at those picks. Hell, I mean, Jackson Dart, I feel like we're going to make the same mistake on Jackson Dart that we made on Michael Penix last year. All right, we're probably going to let him fall because we don't like him. But, you know, NFL teams will tell us what we should probably think about him. So, all in all, Gabe, I mean, I agree. I think the 203, I would love to get this deal done without the 203 if I could help it, because it's still a top 15 pick. It's, you know, historically going to be something that's useful from like a war perspective and all that. But we know how Diaz works, right? We know that we're going to make multiple moves, and the more flexible and liquid you can be, the better. There's people who are just out on Marvin Harrison, like you said. Like, I think it's too quick to say that I'm out. But I think if I can split Marv for that, like, I'm very, very interested. Does that create more of a hole in your roster if you're trading away a Marv because you have to try to replace that? Or do you think in best ball you can construct around that, and if you have the flexibility, you can make the most of it?
Yeah, I think it's all going to be contingent upon your roster, right? Like, I mean, again, Marvin Harrison does leave a gaping hole, especially because of what you probably had to pay for him, assuming you either drafted him or if it was a startup draft, like of what you had to pay for him in the draft. So he definitely is going to leave a hole in your roster. Again, I don't know the team, but I would imagine that that's what's going to happen here. And so you're going to have to use those picks essentially for another wide receiver, right? And so what that looks like, I mean, who knows? If you can get Tet, that's amazing, right? That's great. But if you don't, then maybe Egbuka or some of these other guys. And then it's like, do you really want to spend your first there? Or, you know, would you rather wait and kick the can down the road and grab one of the other guys who may fall to the late first, early second, you know? So that's where it kind of just becomes a little bit difficult for me in this trade. Like, I like the deal and I like what Diaz is doing, especially in a best ball league. But I feel like Marvin Harrison Jr., man, the community loves him. You're right. Some people are definitely out, but if he goes and starts showing something, some sort of flash, like, or even the Cardinals go and make another acquisition in the offseason that, you know, they see as like a positive for Marv, I do think that the community is going to be right back into you know, what he is. And so I did want to ask, like, because I can't ignore the elephant in the room, right? Just Kyler, Marv, the duo. How do you feel about the Cardinals offense outside of McBride? Like, how do you feel about Kyler and Marv moving forward? Like, do you feel like this is something that you do want to invest in? Or to your point, are you just like, if I can get out, I'm fine with getting out?
I think they fall in that range where now, like, if I can get out, if I can get in for a good price, like, I'm just going to play whatever the market will let me play. Okay. I think we were too high on the stack last year. I think we were perfectly right on McBride. We got that one right. But you know, Kyler, Marv, they didn't really give us what we wanted. And even when Kyler was a top 6 quarterback in Dynasty, people didn't want to put like the respect on his name even then. So I guess I'm gonna say I don't think they really live up to like the hype or the height of where they were last year and maybe where they'll go in startups this year. But I mean, what we're going to see as we go through the process here, the quarterback market, it's going to be a have and have not. So if I can have a Kyler, I want to find a way into him too. So to skirt around your question, like it depends. Like I like them, but I don't need to get them. No.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, and again, and I think for me, I agree with you, right? Like I like Kyler for sure, and he's definitely somebody that I'd like to have. But the one out of the Cardinals offense that I'm definitely still very interested in outside of McBride is Marvin Harrison. Like I would like to see, again, because right now I feel like his value is a little bit more suppressed. And I think like if he shows any flashes, he can definitely assume some more value. And that's where for me, the 203 kind of plays in, where maybe I can fill in a little bit of what the 105 or, whatever that pick could be.
Yeah, I agree. If I'm going to be making this deal to make the picks and select the players at 104, 105, I'm going to take Marvin the 2-3. But me personally, if this was my team, I would be taking 104, 105, and the 3. I'd take either the 104 and the 105, try to get a 19, 110, and a 26 first. And then you're telling me I get basically 3 firsts worth of value for Marvin the second, throw in a third. Yeah, I'm cool with it. So I'm going to take the Diaz side because of what I can do with it.
There you go. Hey, whenever we start off the trade show with a split deal, man, it's it's going to be a great show.
It's going to be a good one. Let us know. Comments. What do you want? You want Marv and 203, or do you want the picks? And Gabe, we had a great show last week talking about Chase and Burrow and Bowers. Got a couple of people inspired. So Dynasty Alex, 12-team PPR, Superflex lineup, start 9, shallow, 6-point passing touchdown, no tight end premium. Dynasty Alex got into some Burrow, traded away Goff, McCaffrey, and the 111. So very similar structure. What was it? Breece Hall and a 26 second last time
and
with
Jared Goff. Yeah.
It's still the Burrow side here, is it not?
I mean, I definitely would take the Burrow side here. I'd be curious, Ty. I feel like I've asked you this before, but do you think you could get a first from McCaffrey right now?
That's kind of where my mind goes too. It's like, could I get a liquid first? Like, I think I could probably get 111, 112. I think I could find my way into that because people don't treat those as first. But talking to 26 first, I don't think anyone's paying that. I don't think anyone's risking the future to get into McCaffrey right now.
Yeah, and I don't even know. I mean, again, you might be right. I mean, you might be able to kind of squeeze your way into that, but I think comfortably people are willing to probably pay more like 2 seconds worth of value for him. And so, man, that just Goff 2 seconds and 111 for Joe Burrow. Like, just give me Joe Burrow. Like, that's a damn good deal for me.
Yeah, start 9, 6-point passing touchdown. Just give me Burrow. Good stuff. Perk Daddy. Our boy, 12-team, start 10, 1.5 tight end premium. This team has Burrow and Geno, JT and Aaron Jones, Chase, Brian Thomas Jr., DK and Sutton, Bowers, and 1-9. Trying to climb that wide receiver ladder with Odunze plus 109. So, Perk Daddy traded away Hollywood Brown, Bryce Young, Bucky Irving, the fire in the streets.
The 102, 103 Bucky Irving.
Yeah, on a 2026 second. And Perk Daddy got in 2. Romo Odunze, 111, a 26 first, and the linchpin of the deal, Wandale Robinson. Oh boy. Gabe, we're gonna have to cross some things off here. Where do your eyes go first?
Man, my eyes, and I wanna ask, because I know we talked about it briefly. Bryce Young or the 26 first?
Yeah.
You knew this was coming.
I knew it was coming instantly because that's what I was going to ask you if I had the if I had the floor.
If you had the floor.
Yeah, we talk about just like 26 first for Christian McCaffrey. Like I don't need to do that. I don't need to risk my future. But like people like Bryce, and like Bryce bottomed out and now he's coming back up, right? People like Bryce. I don't know from like a fantasy asset and like difference maker perspective if it will ever really be that. But again, man, like a quarterback, if you have a quarterback that has a starting job, it's pretty much guaranteed. Like I can't really fault anyone for paying a first to do it. Yeah. I'd love to not do it and then just hold that first and use it in season to trade into an extremely flat range of quarterback that Bryce will probably fall into. But I can't fault it. So me personally, I'm going to take the 26 first, but I cannot fault anyone for doing that.
All right. So you heard it here first. Arch Manning over Bryce Young, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Exactly what I'm doing. Yeah.
No, so okay, so then the 26 first. So what I was going to ask then, it probably doesn't move the needle for you, but I want to ask before I make a decision, right? Hollywood Brown, you're taking Hollywood Brown over Wandale Robinson.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So does Bryce and Hollywood Brown make up the delta for Wandale in a first?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Give me Hollywood and Bryce. I'll give you Wandale in a first. Sure.
All right. All right.
Like at the end
If
of the
not,
day,
I was going to the second. I was going to the second next.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Bryce in a second for Wandale in a first. That's Bryce pretty easy. I think like it's right there with Bryce in a first.
Yeah.
So if you give me any kind of plus that I can, yeah, sure. Give me the plus.
Yeah. So then that pretty much leaves us with Odunze in the 111 for Bucky in a second.
Ooh.
And yeah. I mean, I love Bucky. I really like him. His value, though, man, has gotten incredibly expensive. And I like the signing of, the head coach out in Chicago. So I think I'm going to trust that Odunze can become elevated in this new offense. And who knows what will happen with Keenan Allen. So I think I'm going to take Odunze in the 111 over Bucky in a second.
Yeah. When we talked a couple weeks ago on the Bucky, we were looking at what Shane's deal of the 106 and something.
106, yeah.
It was like 106 and a 306. We're like, I mean, looking at the deals that Bucky's going for, like, I guess we'll take Bucky. But I think both of us were also on the same page of if we're getting Bucky right now, it's because we know probably what we can sell him for and what we can get into with him. And I mean,
oh yeah.
So having Bucky in a deal like this where I can get into an Odunze for a reasonable price that, again, he didn't have a great rookie year. He had a Keenan Allen problem. He had a Chicago Bears problem. Yep. And you would hope that, I don't want to invoke the name like JSN because they play completely differently at wide receiver. Like one's a slot, one's Rome Odunze. But couldn't you see that kind of a rise with positive news, with growth that we see from one season to the next from Odunze? Like, I can already see that value path going there. I go from 111 or from a 26 second to a 111 in this class, which again, those late first, I just kind of want to collect them right now if I can, because if I can have multiple shots in that very flat range, I'm going to feel pretty nice. I'll take Odunze in the 111 over Bucky in the second, but I'm curious what you think, and I'm curious what the community thinks.
Yeah, I mean, again, I know community-wise, it looks like you can get some really nice deals for Bucky, right? I don't think anybody's paying the 103, 104 for Bucky. And so with that being said, I mean, I don't think there's any world where I wouldn't want to take the Odunze and 111 side, especially because I do believe in Caleb Williams, and I do believe that that offense is going to be better, improved, much improved next year, right? And I think Odunze is going to be a really big beneficiary of that. Especially because towards the end of the season, he started to show a little bit more flashes. And, I think he's going to be a really good complement wide receiver to DJ Moore out in Chicago. So while I really like Bucky, I just think what I can do right now with Odunze in the first versus Bucky in the second, like I'd rather park my money with Odunze in the 111.
Yeah. Like if I knew I could take Bucky and flip that for 102, 103, 104 straight up, like that might be the move. And then, I mean, let me ask you this, Gabe. 104 or Odunze in the 111?
Man, I still think I would take Odunze in the 111.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, moving back 7 spots and you pick up an Odunze, like it's just moving back 7 spots in a draft. Again, I'm going to bank that my league mates make the wrong selection and then just go from there. Yeah, I'd rather just take Odunze, man, in the 111.
Yeah. And what I like about this is Perkins now can take Odunze in the 109 and try to climb that wide receiver ladder. If you had Odunze in 109, like where are you aiming for a wide receiver if you had a chance?
Odunze in the 109, I would probably see, man, could you get like a Drake London, Garrett Wilson?
I think that's on the table. Yeah.
Yeah, I think somewhere around there. I mean, that's probably where I would be shooting for. I don't know that you could get into like a Nico Collins, but I definitely would try.
Yeah. I'd start there. I'd start Amon-Ra,
Nico,
Puka, Neighbors, BTJ. Would you do that for Marv? Odunze and 109 for Marv.
Yeah. I would take Odunze in the 109 over Marv.
Yeah.
I would take Odunze 109. But the thing is, though, is I think that I don't know that you could get into Neighbors or BTJ, but I definitely would try. I think realistically, it's right around Nico, Nico, Drake London, Garrett Wilson type of range before. So I'd be willing to entertain that for sure.
Yeah. So just do it with a plan. I like it.
Yeah.
Cash out on some of the hot names right now. Good stuff. Okay, Broncos 23, lefty golfer 08. Got inspired by listening to last week's show in a 12-team start 10 Superflex PPR half-point tight end premium game. So we'll go into this. He has a lot of assets. Lefty golfer sent away Bowers in third and 26 and a 211. Got into Chase and George Kittle. So when we were talking Chase versus Bowers, we were talking 2.0 tight end premium.
Dude,
right?
I know.
And in there, like, hey, there was a lot of debate in the comments. Some saying, I cannot believe you would trade away Chase for that. He outscored him consistently. What are you doing? And other side saying it's Bowers, no question. So I think no matter what side you fall onto that debate, I think you're right if you think you're right. So it depends what you tell yourself. But here, 0.5 tight end premium. It's Chase over Bowers for me, and then it's Kittle well over the 211 and a third. So I'm going to be on the Chase side this time, Gabe. I don't know if you see this any different.
But give lefty golfers some round of applause over here, man. To your point, I'm taking Chase over Bowers very easily in a half-point tight end premium. And then give me Kittle over the 211 and the 26 third.
Yeah.
I think, obviously, I want Bowers over Kittle, but I don't think that delta is super, super, super crazy in a half-point tight end premium. Now, again, I want to say, like, it's definitely there. It is a gap for sure, but I don't think it's as big in a half-point tight end premium. So, yeah, man, I definitely would want Chase and Kittle. Like, holy moly, well done. Yeah. Well done.
There's a couple of savvy parts of this. Like, one, the savvy part is going from Bowers to Kittle. Production-wise, like, there's a chance you're not giving up a ton, like you're saying. But also, it feels like you didn't pay for the Kittle in this deal. It was just kind of it was on the arm at the end of the day. Because in a deal like this, if I'm moving Bowers, like, I don't want to tie up any value in the tier down at tight end. I'm doing it because I want to get into Chase. But then if you're just going to throw me in Kittle for a couple of late picks, like, yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, I mean, Bowers 211 and a 26 third tie and a half-point tight end premium for Chase. I mean, who are you taking?
I'm probably still taking Chase.
I was going to say, it still has to be Chase. So it's almost, to your point, a free George Kittle. Yeah. And based on what I've seen, George Kittle is probably going to give me 85, maybe almost 90% of Bowers' production, depending on what we've seen the past couple of years. Like, I mean, yeah, this is a fantastic deal. I mean,
it's
Sean
it's
a chef's kiss. There you go. It's a chef's kiss right there.
Yes, a little chef's kiss. Sean Monty 117, patreon.com/all gas. Use code trade GOAT, get 50% in the door. We got you, buddy. 10 out of 10. I agree, Nico. Nick Zero, Nico. I don't know. Another Kittle deal here, Gabe. This time for Olave. 12-team, 1 quarterback PPR, tight end premium. George Kittle or Chris Olave and Theo Johnson?
What's the tight end premium you said?
Full, I'm assuming. So let's say it's 2.0. Let's say it's 2.0 tight end premium.
I mean, it's George Kittle. Yeah, it's George Kittle.
Let's say it's 1.5 tight end premium.
Now, this is where we start to have a little bit more of a conversation. I think in a half-point tight end premium, I still think I want George Kittle, but I do like Chris Olave. I do want to preface that. So I think it's a lot closer for me. I don't really know what to do with Theo Johnson. I mean, he's kind of just there, really. Yeah. I mean, who knows if they draft? Hopefully, I mean, they're going to draft a quarterback for sure, but who knows what that looks like, especially year one. And it's going to be the Malik Neighbor show out in New York. So I don't really want to put too much stock into Theo Johnson. But yeah, so pretty much for me, one for one, George Kittle, Chris Olave. I'm more than likely going to take George Kittle 9 out of 10 times. But there is a world where, again, I do see New Orleans, Derek Carr not being the quarterback, them making a lot of changes that should positively affect the organization. And I think Chris Olave could be a really good beneficiary of that. Ty, I actually have been trying actively to purchase Chris Olave in a lot of leagues just because of what I think he can become as far as production wise and what his value is right now. I mean, I think there's definitely a big delta there.
Yeah. I mean, we've done this with Tua. We did it with Brandon Cooks back in the day.
Yep.
Head injuries are scary, right?
And for sure.
When there's a history of it, when there's major ones, when there's concern for, like you said, when there's concern that they may not play again, like that really drives down the price. I remember in Royal Rumble, what was it? You got into Tua right afterwards, got a very, very cheap Tua at that point. It feels like that's where we're at with Olave. The community's a bit maybe double counting a bit of the head injuries, not living up to the expectations that we as fantasy managers put on these players. And I agree, man. If we're talking 175, 2.0, it's Kittle. It's Kittle. But it might be the right buy low on Olave, and Theo Johnson doesn't factor into this at all. Now, I wanted to, on a team like this, one quarterback, again, tight end, we don't really have anything, but he wanted out of the Olave headache. So if that is why you're doing it and you want out, I cannot fault you. Yeah. But if I'm looking at ways to get into an Olave, especially if I had another tight end that I can plug in there, trading away a 31-year-old tight end is not the worst way to get into an Olave.
Yeah, no, definitely not. And again, it's definitely a buy low opportunity because this time last year, he was definitely penciled in as like a top 15 wide receiver, So again, it's definitely a good buy low opportunity. I definitely am proactively wanting to purchase and get into Chris Olave because I do think there are definitely better days ahead. But to your point, tight end position, man, is just such a scarce position already that if I can get into one of the guys that has just been producing consistently year in and year out, that's where I want to go. Like that's just where I'd like to park my money. To your point, Chris Olave, like I do like him, but there is a world where where he doesn't produce what we want, and then now he's just another flat tier wide receiver.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Kittle here, but you came in second last year, with Olave, without anyone else at tight end other than Theo. So you've kind of point proven that you can patch it together at tight end, but like you said, it can get scarce, and if you have an elite one, it really opens you up to more things. So give me Kittle, but I don't mind it. Are we too low on Olave? You let us know. Oh, Bowers once again. Full PPR 1.75 tight end premium, baby. Start 11. Bowers 106, 111, 112, and a 2027 second. I don't think we'll pencil in Jeremiah Smith with a 2027 second, Gabe. But are you paying
definitely not.
Quote unquote 3 firsts worth of value for Brock Bowers?
Wow. It's not often, Ty, that you see 3 firsts just being moved anymore for players nowadays. Like people are definitely a lot more stingy with their picks. And so this is definitely something interesting to kind of see here. Now, this one's hard, man. This one's hard because those picks are so late.
I don't think this is hard, Gabe. For what Bowers is, for how people value Bowers, I take 2 of the champions first, the runners up first, and a mid first. I don't know, 2027 second, and just check that box. Even if I'm just starting Bowers in that spot and not moving him for the rest of the career, I think I would take Bowers. But it's scary. But if those were 26, if one of those is the 26 first, you have my attention. If 2 of those are 26 first, now you have my curiosity. You know what I mean? Like whatever order that should go in, curiosity, attention, whatever. But 111, 112, I think that's at a point where people are already poo-pooing those picks. I want to listen to what the community is saying a bit in these as well. So give me Bowers in that sense. But
it's only a half point tight end premium, though, man. It's only a half point tight end premium. Like
so
that's
studs and duds. Then,
dude. But the what you can get, like if you sit there and you tell me that's gonna be, Egbuka, Luther Burden, and maybe Tyler Warren, sorry, something like that. Like, come on, man. Yeah, I know those eyebrows are raised right now. I know you're mildly interested. That's where it becomes difficult for
Mildly,
me.
yes, but we've seen what people do for Bowers even in a no tight end premium league, man. And like,
Yeah.
I hear you. I hear you. Right? If I can say I'm locking in, hell, Travion Henderson, Abuka, Trey Harris, Tyler Warren, hell, I'm not going to spend that on Loveland in a deal like that, but Quinshon Judkins, Travis Hunter, if he falls, like there's plenty of names that I can put in there, and I like having those picks to be flexible. But I mean, let's just again start 11, so it is deeper, right? So I hear you, right? Those could all be starters. They're nice picks, but man, I think I want to go Bowers so that I can. I've walked that back. Hey, I was like, it is no doubt Bowers. I was like, I think it's Bowers.
I was gonna say it's definitely
I think it's Bowers. I just think I can do more with that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that just solves my tight end position so good that I don't need to worry about it and I can be flexible elsewhere. I would like to see the rest of the team, but I'm gonna stick to my guns and say Bowers.
All right. I love it. I mean, hey, again, you got to have the conviction, and that's really what's important here. But dude, yeah, just for me, looking at this, like giving up 3 first in for almost any player outside of like Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels, like, Lamar Jackson, like outside of those 3, like giving up just 3 liquid picks is very difficult, especially in a start 11. And it's only a half-point tight end premium, man. So I want to say that I want to keep the flexibility for now. But to your point, you're right. You can do a lot with Bowers. You really can do a lot with Bowers.
Yeah.
But dude,
you want to get into one of those quarterbacks? Bowers is a great way to do that. In under 3 months, Gabe, all of those picks, except for the 27-second, are either going to be assigned to a player or you have to move them now. So you have enough room to maneuver with those picks, but if you're going to do this, you have to have a plan, because otherwise I'm just going to vote on just get me into the consolidated dynasty asset that everyone loves. Because I feel like I can use Bowers for 3 firsts worth of value in a trade if I want to.
I feel like I'm getting my heartstrings pulled and my brain strings pulled at the same time. Mm-hmm. Like my heart's telling me go Bowers. My mind's like, come on, dude, you can do more with the first. But yeah, I mean, I guess
it's a good deal then.
It probably does, right? It probably does. I guess for the sake of, okay, I'll flip a little bit of my tune here. For the sake of what we see here. Again, I have no context of the team or anything, just outside of the picks. I really like getting into 3 first and a second for Bowers, but you're right. I mean, it's definitely a scarce position. I'll lean Brock Bowers. Mm-hmm. But I do like the pick side for sure.
If you told me I can take that 111, 112 and flip at least one of those for a 26 first, do something else with that makes sense, then yeah, sure, I'll take the picks. We'll make it make sense. But I just don't want to lock myself into 111, 112, where people are already not really counting those as first. And again, they're going to turn
every year though. They do that every year. It's the same thing where it's like, after the 108, it's just who cares, right? And then you get to the draft, or it's a month after the draft, and then it's like, oh, I should have paid attention to these players over here, or whatever it is. Like, it just, I don't know, man. It's definitely a very difficult one for sure. But again, for the sake of it, I'll lean Bowers, but I do think it's a lot closer than we made it out to be the first time.
That's fair. Like I love talking end of round 1 rookie picks in February, so it's always good when that happens.
Yeah.
Gosh, okay, Pistol Pete, we got to pick up the pace here a little bit, Gabe. We have a lot of things to get through. Pistol Pete, 14 team, start 13, Superflex best ball, 2 quarterback, 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 4 wide receiver, 2 tight end, 3 flex, and a Superflex. Yeah. 33-man roster, 6-point passing touchdowns. We got a small point per carry, running back 0.75 PPR, wide receivers 125, tight ends 175. Took over an orphan. We've all been there, Gabe. I like to think taking over an orphan. Need to make some moves to make things work. Might have taken a small value hit to get the first trade done, but offers are flooding in since. I love doing that move. You take over a team, you take a bad trade, and then watch the floodgates open for a bunch of trades coming your way. Yeah. So, Ertz, Bryce, Geno, Ramondre, Estime, Trash, Ladd, Hill, Godwin, Amari, Deontay, Njoku, and Juwan Johnson on his team. He has 101 and 307. And Pistol Pete sent away Travis Etienne, Anthony Richardson, and Dallas Goedert. And he got into Devontae Smith, Chig, Cedric Tillman, not Charles, Cedric Tillman, and a 2026 fourth round pick. Again, 14 team, start 13, Superflex best ball, Gabe. This is a deep, deep, deep best ball league. Yeah. He says, I see Smith over Arich. He has Ertz, Bryce, and Geno. So the Arich was expendable. But I mean, in a 14 team league, like you kind of got to give a little bit of credence to quarterback there as well. I'll agree. I'll take Smitty over Richardson with the context and the team. It's Goedert over Chig. Yeah. It's Etienne over Tillman in the fourth. What do you got? Chig and Goedert same tier or what?
No. I think it's Goedert over Chig.
What did I say?
Oh no, you were just reading it out. Yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah.
I meant to say Goedert over Chig if I didn't say that. Yeah. So I think the bottom side of it, like the Goedert, the ETN, I want that over the rest of the package. Just depends. How much do you want Smitty and how expendable is Arich on your team?
Yeah, I mean, Arich is definitely expendable. Like, I mean, at this point, I think we've talked about it before, but I don't want really hardly any parts of Anthony Richardson on my team. So, like, again, Bryce for Anthony Richardson, we've talked about it before. I'd want Bryce, so I'm glad that you at least kept Bryce Young over Anthony Richardson for sure. And I would take Smitty over Anthony Richardson. But to your point, in a 14-team super flex, like, it's scary out in those streets, man, for quarterback, especially in a start 13. And I just think on the side that you gave up, I definitely don't have Goedert and Chig the same. I do want Goedert pretty handedly over Chig. And then I want ETN. And that's that I really am not the biggest fan of ETN, but I do want ETN over Cedric Tillman in a fourth for sure. So just from a pure value standpoint, Ty, I'm going to lean the Dallas Goedert, Travis Etienne, Anthony Richardson side. But I do like that you got the best asset in the deal for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree there. If you want to make a bet on Chig and Goedert being the same thing, I don't hate that. You're playing in just a certain range of tight end that probably shouldn't matter at the end of the day. So just give me whatever one. You have Njoku and Jawan Johnson, so you're not already having a zero. But I mean, Gabe, 14 team start 13 best ball. If I said that I could have Ertz, Bryce, Geno, and Arich is just my end of roster spike option where we know if he does play, the way that he wins, like he can put up those monster weeks, like top 5 quarterback weeks. In best ball, I mean, isn't that just a nice quarterback room to have Ertz, Bryce, Geno, and Arich, where I don't got to really worry about that going into the draft. I don't got to worry about trying to take that 101 and assign it to a quarterback. It can be a little more flexible. You said you took over an orphan, so you're probably not looking at making that 101, so you can just keep going down. I don't know. I don't think you need to keep Arich on this team, but I also think as like in a best ball sense, like I don't mind having him as my fourth quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would not mind having him as my fourth quarterback at all either. The only thing that kind of gets me here, Ty, is that one, you only can start 2, right? And I know that he's going to have spike weeks, but you have a lot of holes, man, to fill in this roster. Like, if I tell you it's a start 2 running back and it's 3 flexes, and I only have Ramondre and Estime as my 2 running backs, you're down bad. You are down bad, my friend. And then on the flip side of that, 4 wide receivers. And the 4 wide receivers that you actually have that are starting is Ladd, Hill, Godwin, and Amari, and then Deontay Johnson as one of your flex guys. Deontay Johnson's not even on a team, Ty. So, I mean, I get it. I understand that, but no, man, there's just no way where I would want to do that. Like hold on to Anthony Richardson. Again, one, I don't want to really put too much stock into him already as it is. But then secondly, I have a lot of gaping holes on my team. Like you have to hope and pray that you can split that 101 into like 3 or 4 things. Like you have to do something like that to be able to get this, because right now, do you even have a starting roster? Like, I mean, you have a starting roster with the trash on your team, right? Because he says that Ramondre, Estime, and trash. So let's count this out. You only have 2 quarterbacks. So let's just say Ertz and Geno, more than likely. Yep. And then you have Ramondre and Estime, woof. You have Ladd, Hill, Godwin, and Amari. I mean, maybe.
Yeah, between
Njoku
Estime
and
and
Juwan
Amari,
Johnson.
we'll give you 1. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have Njoku. and Juwan Johnson, which again, and then you have the
Between
101.
Deontay and Juwan, I'll give you another one, sure.
So how many players is that? We have 9 fingers up. It's a start 13. You're 4 players short.
Yeah. I mean, I agree.
Shout out to Pistol Pete for doing the Lord's work, taking over an orphan, right? Again, for sure. But no, man, I wouldn't want to keep Anthony Richardson, with this type of team. Like I feel like, again, you're not even competing, Ty, right now. So I would even venture off to say, man, like you might even want to sell one of Bryce or Gino, and get into something else. Like I feel like you're really going to have to start splitting some of your players, and specifically that 101 is the one that has my eyes on because it probably has the most value. In a 14-team law, I definitely don't want to move Jalen Hurts unless I'm getting another comparable quarterback. But it's just scary hours. Like I can do a hammer quarterback and then fill in the rest at quarterback. Like I'm okay to do that. Yeah. Like if I have a guy that can hit my lineup week to week. But in the start 13, man, you have to make moves here. And I don't think what you gave up really equates to what you received. I mean, I like Anthony Richardson, or I like giving up Anthony Richardson, but I wish I would have just been able to do that without having to give up Etienne and Goedert as well.
Yeah. I think you're like, in this context with this team, you just got to split stuff. I mean, you said like you want to hold on to Hurts, and I'm not in a hurry to move Hurts, but I mean, truly, anyone can go. Anyone can go, right? So, on this team, yes, I'm not holding Richardson. I'm not playing 4 quarterbacks in a team that's going to go 2-14, whatever 2-12. Yeah, I agree. You're not winning anything. You have to split. Yeah, I would love to not have to give up Goedert and Etienne in that deal. Can you keep Tillman in the 4th and Chig? do I need to take those things back in it as well? So I don't mind it. I don't mind it, Pistol Pete. I think I would probably just lean the Richardson, Etienne, and Goedert side. You got the best player in the deal though, and you know what you got to do with that team. So you're gonna be making a lot of deals, and like I said, you take the first deal, take a bit of an L, and now you have deals just flowing in your inbox. So. Yeah. Good luck. You got some work ahead, but you're a worker, so you'll get it done. Okay. Vapad does fantasy. A lot of context for Dell for 305 and 402. 12 teams, start 12 lineup, Gabe. 2.25 tight end premium, if that matters, in the 305 there. Dell or 305 and 402?
As the Texans fan, I want Tank Dell.
Yes, let's go. Yeah, the Texans fan wants Tank Dell. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, what are you hoping for that those picks can become? Tank Dell, he will be back. I fully believe he will be back. And so yeah, I mean, it's fine. I'll take the 305. I'll take Tank Dell over the 305 and the 40, whatever it was, 3.
Yeah, 305, 402. Yeah. I mean, I want those later picks in this draft. I do think it is a deep class. I think I can probably find my way into some ADV style players. I mean, Tank, is he going to play next year? Like, if he does play, is that going to be meaningful? Probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
But on this team, you are not looking for points. You are looking for pure upside assets. And you've said it before, and I'm going to quote you. I've done a lot worse with my 305 and my 402. So there's worse ways you can spend that for sure. Just give me Tank, sure. But I'm not in a 12 by 12 on a team that I don't need to go anywhere. I couldn't fault anyone for taking the picks and just taking 2 shots on ADV players and hoping you can find the one that spikes.
Yeah.
But that's a nice quick one. Okay, we already hit this one. Good job, Diaz, or bad job, whatever people want to say on that side of the deal. Pistol Pete got another one done. Same league from earlier. So it's a 14-team start 13 best ball league. Pete. 14-team start 13, right? Best ball.
Yep.
Pistol Pete traded away that Bryce Young, traded away Estime, starting RB2 Estime, Javon Baker, and Jameis Winston. Got into Sam Darnold, Jamo, Michael Mayer in the 506. Now we're talking here. Now we're talking, baby. Let's go.
This is the Pistol Pete we all know and love
This-
here. This is the
this is
Pistol
it.
Pete we all know and love.
Yeah. So, Gabe, we've talked a little Bryce Young already on the show. Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold and what for Bryce Young?
I was like, don't ask me if I'm taking 1 for 1. I was like, don't ask me that, please.
Don't even just. I will leave this room.
I mean, any take your pick. 506 Michael Mayer. You could Sam Darnold for Bryce Young. Sure, I'm taking Jameson Williams over everything else. Like, it doesn't matter how you want to slice this. You could say Sam Darnold, Michael Mayer, and the 506, or Bryce Young. What do you like there? Sam Darnold, Michael Mayer, 506.
Yeah, just give me the package, sure.
I mean,
Just give me the package, yeah. On this team.
so then
Start
Jamo
13.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jamo for Winston. Who knows? Estime. All right, and Javon Baker.
What the dog
Give me
doing?
Jamin. Yeah. Well done, Pistol Pete. You
Well
you
done.
redeemed yourself for sure.
Well done. Good stuff. Ooh, a little startup here, Gabe. Big
Oh.
Diaz led the show. Back at it. Empire League startup. 12 teams, start 11, super flex. Line up. Some point per carry, some point per first down, some PPR up to 2.0 tight end premium. Big Diaz wants that 2 quarterback elite build in the lineup. So Big Diaz trades away to Mitch, Dino MC. The 210, the 310, and the startup 710 for the startup 104, the 804, and the 1004. So Gabe, I have a little startup ADP pulled up here
Thank
as
the
well.
Lord. Thank
Yep.
the Lord.
So again, lineup 12 team, start 11. So he's trading up for a quarterback. So I'm assuming you're probably trading up for a Hertz there because I'm just gonna say Allen, JD, and Lamar are probably gone.
Yeah.
Diaz was picking out of the 103, so he got one of those guys, and then he traded up and took the last like elite quarterback rushing upside guy. So he traded that away for 210, 310. So 210, you're looking at a Brian Thomas Jr., Puka Nakua, Amon Ra, Malik Neighbors, Trey McBride, somewhere in there in a 2.0. And then 310 got, I'm sorry. I was at the wrong end of the second. My bad.
I was like,
So,
dang, that's good.
yeah, no, my bad. So 210, you could be looking at 101, Caleb Williams, Saquon Barkley, Drake May. Okay. And then 310 could be looking at a Brees Hall, JSN, AJ Brown, Kyler Murray, Sam Laporta, 102, Bucky Irving. And then between the 710 and the 804, I mean, between 108, Brandon Ayuk, Dalton Kincaid, 109, Joe Mixon, Mark Andrews, Sam Darnold, Jerry Jeudy, Jaden Reed, Mike Evans, 110.
Take your pick.
Take your pick. So can we cross off 804 and 710?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you trading away your 210 and 310 to get into the elite quarterback and you get back, 1004 with it?
What is the 1004? What is the 1004?
Khalil Shakir, 202, Brian Robinson, DeAndre Swift, 203, James Conner, Jake Ferguson.
Okay, yeah. I think that's good. I think that's good. I think I kind of have a good grasp. So 101, AJ Brown for Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, and the 202. That's pretty solid, man. That's pretty solid. I mean, I definitely feel like this is a good trade for both parties, depending on what your roster construction is and what you're trying to do. But I can't fault anyone, man, for wanting to get into an elite quarterback, right? 2 elite quarterbacks, especially, with points per first down and different things like that. Like, I think you've got some really good stuff going on there. I mean, it's 0.1 point per carry too. So like Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, definitely. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're already difference makers, and now you're just even adding more of a delta between them and everybody else as far as the quarterback position goes. So, no, man, I think this is a great trade for both parties. I think you can do a lot with the 101 and AJ Brown.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at almost 4 firsts worth of value, but to that other flip side, then you're getting the 202 also. So it's not like you're almost getting a first in general there. So no, man, I think this is a great trade for both parties. Again, we don't play in too many snake drafts anymore, Ty. We mainly focus on auctions now, but I think this is good. I want to say, for the sake of the scoring format, I kind of want to go the 104 route. But again, I can't fault anybody for wanting to get into the 101 AJ Brown, type either.
Yeah, because I agree. I don't think you can really go wrong here. Like I've pulled back my reins on needing to make a trade like this to get the 2 top guys, but you didn't trade away a future first. You kept the same amount of picks that you had at the start. And I mean, yeah, Gabe, like there's a lot of combinations of this. I'd say that just give me the elite quarterback. I mean, Caleb Williams and any of those like wide receivers that we mentioned. I'll just take the elite quarterback.
So Caleb Williams and AJ Brown or Jalen Hurts.
You know the name to say to make my heart skip a beat, and that's AJ Brown. So
I know.
Yeah. So I mean, and that's the thing. If I was in that position, I'm like, I can trade away off this, but I'll get a shot at 101 or another quarterback, a Drake May, a Caleb Williams, whatever one is your pick, and a wide receiver that I like. Like I don't hate that at all. But if I'm at this point in the startup, I have no players on my roster aside from another quarterback, and I can just check that quarterback box, not have to worry about quarterback again for the rest of the draft, right? I think if you take another quarterback in your picks, you've done it wrong. I would say, like, give me the 2, and then I'll figure the rest out. Give me as many players and shots that I can take. So I'm gonna lean 104 just because hell, you're getting up there. But I think this is a great deal. Like I said, the 7-10, 8-4 swap doesn't really matter. End of the day, just depends. Do you want to lock in that second elite quarterback and either use that for value later on or cash out now, you get the flexibility, the players you want? I'm curious if Mitch then took that and down tiered further, right? Was able to turn that into a future first and something. So
yeah, what's going at the 110?
110, Bijan, Jameer, CD, Neighbors, Raw, Puka, maybe Mahomes falls. In a 2.0 tight end pick, I bet Trey McBride's up there too.
Oof, that's good too, man, for Mitch. Yeah, because then he can turn around and he can probably just go heavy wide receiver or tight end, and he can figure out quarterback later on too, because he knows he's not getting one of the elite guys at the 110.
Yep.
So, man, that's a great deal for both parties.
Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, not too bad, man. Not too bad. All right. A little startup discussion. We gave you a lot of a startup discussion there, Diaz. So good stuff. You failed me. 12-team start 11 speed round here, Gabe. Javonte and Najee, or 203.
Najee, Javonte.
Just taking the players. Yeah, you're giving up the ADV, but you'll probably take a running back there anyways, or maybe a shot at a wide receiver. Just give me the 2 running backs.
Yep, I agree with that.
Cool. Why not? Sure. Joe Milton or a 2026 third, Gabe? I can't believe I'm gonna have to type out a timestamp for this now. I can't believe I've done this for myself. But what is Joe Milton, man? Just give me the third.
Yeah, just give me the third. What did he even say? An absolute monster for you. For some reason, guy thinks Milton will be something. He sent 312 this year for him. I countered with this. There you go.
Beautiful.
Well done.
Beautiful.
Well done.
I already laughed at it. Beautiful. Oh, JT or Bucky? Nasty Nate, 12 by 11.
I think, is it crazy to say that I think you can do more with Bucky?
No.
Is it crazy to say that?
I'm looking at startup right now, back to back, Bucky JT. For Nate, it was the portfolio piece. I don't have any JT. I have some Bucky, so let's get a little diversification. I mean, again, if you're not in like 20 leagues, playing portfolio, you're kind of chasing your tail a little bit. But I'm here for getting as many shots at different players as I can. I would agree with you, though. I think with what we've seen on this show, I think I can do more with Bucky.
Yeah.
Can I actualize that in my league is the real question.
I mean, and even if you can't, like next year, 1-for-1, I mean, who would you rather start? 1-for-1. They both had good flashes at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally just pick your guy, right?
Pick your guy, man. I mean,
I'll bail you out a little bit there.
Well, I mean, I'm just thinking like Bucky Irving is in a backfield with someone, but the running back, I guess, profile or like the archetype of running back, you're just kind of expecting to have someone else in that backfield. And JT is one of those guys who doesn't have a backfield mate currently. Do they address that in the draft? If the Colts do draft someone, JT's value is probably going to fall a little bit. If the Bucks draft someone else, I don't think they will do that because they still have Rashad White. Is he still on the team?
I mean, yeah, he's hanging out. He's hanging out.
He's chilling. Sean Tucker's there too. I think if the Bucks draft someone else, people are like, well, he did it with Rashad White last year, so why can't he do it again? So I think Bucky probably has the most staying power of the two.
Yeah, and I do agree with that. And I just, to your point earlier, I think you could do more with the name Bucky right now than you can with the name Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah,
which is crazy to say.
Yes, pretty crazy. But I agree with your reasoning there, Nate. And if it's just like I don't have him, I want a little bit of JT exposure. Sure, let me send you the Bucky. We'll get it done. Okay. We already got the Olave, Kittle, Theo one. But he made a second trade after that. Same league, 12 team start 10, Superflex PPR, 0.5 tight end premium, and a running back premium. Cool. Bonus for long scores. Sends away Bryce Hall, Chris Olave, the guy he just got in that trade. Or right? Or no, he's trading away another one. 1 second. I gotta pull up this other trade first. Okay. So he traded away Olave and Theo for Kittle.
Mm-hmm.
And how? It has to be another league then. How do we trade away Olave twice?
Yeah. It's probably a different league.
Probably a different league. Wandale, Chris Olave, and Bryce Hall for 1-7, 112, 208, and 3-2. 12 team, start 10, Superflex, PPR, some running back and tight end premium scoring.
Man.
I mean, we've talked about Bucky, we've talked about running backs, and that 107 is, I feel like having like a 106, 107, like you can really buy the running back that you want, or you at least have a shot to get in there. So Bryce Hall or 107, Gabe?
No, man, I'm taking Bryce Hall.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna ride with what I know. I'm gonna take the guy with the production.
Yes.
Yeah. I want Bryce Hall.
1728. 17. What's the plus?
Hall.
Still taking okay.
Yeah, I would still take Bryce Hall for 107 and 208. I know what I'm getting myself into. People love Bryce Hall, man. I know it wasn't like the best season for him this past year, but to be fair to him, like the Jets were just a dumpster fire, like all around from the top of the organization to the very bottom of the organization. It was just a hot mess. I don't think that was Bryce Hall. And so, yeah, I'm going to stick to Bryce Hall over the 107, 208.
Cool. 112 or Olave? 12 team start 10.
That one's kind of interesting. I want to say that I'm going to take Olave, but I can't fault anyone for wanting to get liquid either. Just again, as you've seen, a lot of people are just out on Olave. A lot of people are just like, you know what? Let me just re-roll it. I don't know that I want to re-roll though with the 112.
Right.
I mean, even if that's an Egbuka at best, which I don't even know if I don't think he'd get there, but let's just say he did, just then maybe we have a different story. But I just, from what we've seen in some of these mocks, and again, these mocks really don't mean much, right? Because we don't have any landing spots or anything. But I mean, yeah, Jalen Milroe, Jackson Dart, Egbuka, maybe Travis Hunter. Like I'd rather just take Olave, man.
Dude,
I've seen him be very good on an NFL field with very mediocre quarterback play. And so I think that if he gets a better quarterback, which I'm expecting the Saints to address in the offseason, I think he will definitely be a very big beneficiary of that. So I will take Bryce Hall and Chris Olave over the entire package.
I'm just looking at, again, startup data right now. I mean, Chris Olave is going like in line with the 106 on average, which is
that's kind of crazy. That I didn't expect.
Over DJ Moore, over Jordan Addison, over Xavier Worthy, over George Pickens, over Jaden Waddle, over Terry McLaurin and Tyreek Hill and Jamo.
Ooh, okay.
DK Metcalf at the bottom of that list as well. So I feel like that's probably a little more than I want to pay for Olave right now. I think looking at that in context, 112 for Olave, yeah, it's probably a nice price, especially if that's the best you can do with the 112 or you want to get out of that right now. Sure, lock in Olave, don't mind that. Wandale Robinson, you can have him if it gets a deal done, so he can go.
Yeah.
So it's all about Bryce here. Yeah, man. I mean, just give me Bryce. I think I can do more with Bryce.
Yeah.
Cheap on Olave. Yeah.
I'd be curious. I'd be curious. 107, 112 for Bryce. I think this is where I really kind of have a conversation in my head.
2 firsts worth of value technically with the 112 for Bryce. Yeah. You get 2 firsts for a running back. That's probably max value that you can expect, I would assume. But we're also in the season where I just want to climb ladders. Like I just want to, I want to consolidate. And I feel like Breece Hall is affordable right now for probably the first time in his career, aside from when he blew his knee out. Right, there was that window after he blew his knee, and then it was all the way back in. So I'll just take Bryce, but that's where if you tell me I'm taking 107, 112, I have zero issue because of what's coming in the draft, what's available right now. I have no issue sending away, but I think if I had to choose today, I'll take the shot on Bryce. I can bet that I can either do more with it, or it leaves me more flexible with what I can do with the rest of my roster.
Yeah, there you go. Well, there you go. So then, I mean, no matter which way we kind of split this, it definitely falls back on Bryce Hall and Chris Olave for this one.
Yeah. So don't mind. Yeah, I'm gonna take the side you sent away there. Trying to. You made another one here as well. Gosh, McCaffrey, Kamara, Tracy, Ertz, and 310 got back 108, 111, and 206. Gabe, I'm putting your feet back on the fire here. CMC or 111?
I'll re-roll with the 111.
Yeah.
But I can't fault anybody for wanting to get him to McCaffrey.
Nope. Kamara, Ertz, Tracy, and 310 for 108.
And the 206, sir.
And the two. Well, I didn't want to include the 206 in that.
But that's hard. 108, Tyron Tracy, Zach Ertz. I mean, what's the league context again?
It is. I think it's a 12-team start 10.
Is it lineup or best ball?
Lineup. We'll call it lineup.
Making my life even harder.
Yeah. 0.5.
I'll take 108. I'll take the 108.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I'll take the 108.
Free 206. I like this one trying. This is good. Sent away a bunch of, again, I don't want to chase my tail by sending away all of my veterans in February and then trading away all my rookies in September. And then I'm just constantly chasing my tail where I'm playing against the market. I like to buy into some veterans now. I like to get into some hype, maybe later on when they don't flash right away. But I'm just going to take 111, 108, and 26 here and be happy that I was able to cash out all of that veteran value for that.
Yep, I agree.
Okay, let's oh God, Clay. No. Oh, okay. So this one's going to hurt, Gabe. This was the way Clay got to this deal. Thanks, Ty. That's where I sent Penix and what turned into the 103 for JT and Njoku. And I think I sent away like JT Sanders to Clay. It was a bad deal for me. 12 by 12 Superflex best ball tiered PPR. Both teams are rebuilding. He has Herbert, Caleb, and Penix. So figured he'd try to do that. Genty doesn't fit, but he has 102, 202, 302, 211. Team isn't ready to win, so he trades 101 away for 103 and 111. 12 by 12 best ball. I don't need Genty. Shane is like, let's just cut the shit. Let me get up to Genty and we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
12 by 12 best ball, not competing. Give me 103 and 111.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with this. Moving 2 spots back and picking up another first. I mean, we've named off a lot of the guys already that go in the 111 range, and so I'm more than happy to take my chances with getting an extra piece at the back of the first for sure. Yeah. But I can't fault Clay for wanting to get into the arguably probably the only elite asset in this draft.
Yep, might as well. But Clay, I'm glad you're able to use that 103. I'm glad I gifted that to you, and hopefully I never have to see that trade again. But good stuff. All right, let's get one more. Okay. Here's a twofer. Okay. Right. I'm gonna start down here and then we'll go up. So 12 team, 1.5 tight end premium super flex. We're gonna call it start 10. Okay. So first deal, he has JD5. Sent away Romo Odunze, 1-7 and 310. Got 103 in Terry McLaurin. We talked about Odunze. The path for elevation is there. From a pure production standpoint, he's probably going to fall into a flat range of wide receiver. And Terry is just notoriously undervalued, tied to a great quarterback. It's not that old yet. And you get to go to 103 from 107 and 310. I'm taking Terry in the 103 pretty easy. But Gabe, tell me it's not that easy. Tell me I'm wrong.
I can't, man. I wish I could. I wish I could. But to your point, I mean, I want Odunze over Terry McLaurin, but not. It's very, very, very like it's a very small delta, if you will. And so, I mean, at that point, man, the 103 to 107, that's a huge gap that we're looking there. And the 312, the 310, sorry, and the what little value that I lost from going to from Romo Odunze to Terry, it doesn't make up that gap for me. I definitely would much rather take the 103 and Terry McLaurin. And to your point, I would even venture off to say, if you're looking at this from a pure point standpoint, Terry McLaurin is, I would say, 95% chance he's going to outscore Romo Odunze outside of injury next year.
I cannot disagree with you.
Yeah.
So now we have that. We banked that 103 in that first deal, Gabe.
Yep.
And now we send that 103 with Jonathan Taylor to get into Brock Bowers. Again, it is a 1.5 tight end premium.
People
send
love
103 and JT
Brock Bowers.
For Brock Bowers.
People love themselves, man, some Brock Bowers. Woo. Holy moly.
Woo.
What was the tight end premium? You said 0.5?
1.5.
1.5.
We'll call it 12 teams, start 10.
Yeah, I'll take Brock Bowers.
Woo, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think this is a great deal again for both parties. But I do think that I would rather take Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
Especially because you're playing a little bit with house money on the 103. So if you need to pay up a little bit, again, I don't think you really gave up much to get to the 103 from the 107. I mean, hell, some people may even argue that they'd rather have Terry McLaurin over Romo Odunze. So really and truly, like, you almost got a free upgrade is what I guess I'm trying to say. You're playing with house money, so I'm more than willing to park that money into a secure asset like Brock Bowers. So I will take Brock Bowers, especially having the context of the trades in the league.
Yeah. So I'm going to do startup first. I'm going to come back to this, and then we're going to look at both deals in totality. So startup wise, 1.5 tight end premium. Bowers, 108, 109, 110. Probably earlier, as we've seen in these deals. I think it's just going to keep creeping up. Trading away for basically 2 fourths. So an early fourth and a mid fourth. JT and the 103, somewhere in that range. I mean, in a startup, I'd probably trade 2 fourths to get up into the first again, get a top 10 dynasty asset. Yeah, I'll do that. Yep. Here, I mean, again, once we're in a league, 103 is great, but like you said, you're kind of playing with house money there. Just let me take the running back, add something to it, and get into the scarce position, get into the elite difference maker. But this is where it gets really cool, is when you really get both deals in one. Gosh, there's so many deals we didn't get to that are good. So maybe we might have to do a little show here this week, Gabe, on maybe in Discord where we go over some trades. But I mean, yeah, you're sending away Odunze, Jonathan Taylor, 1.7 and 3.10 for Bowers and McLaurin. That's just so nice.
Yeah, you're playing with free money, man. I'm telling you.
Will did it. We're not getting better than that, so we're gonna call it there, Gabe. I know you and wifey were maybe gonna do a 5K, but that got scrapped, so we can chat about fantasy football. What else you got going on this weekend? I'm sure there's not like a big game or anything.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're rooting for the Eagles this weekend. Something that I'm not accustomed to doing, but we'll see. No, we've got some plans right now with the family. We're actually going to go out, probably eat some breakfast right now because it's still early here. And then we're going to go and I think we have a birthday party later today. And then tomorrow, man, the big game. And as much stuff as I'm actually giving you, I mean, I'm excited to see if Kansas City will get the 3-peat for sure.
It might be a hot take. I am as well. I am excited to see if they can do the 3-peat.
The hat didn't give it away for me.
No, at all. No. But I agree. Let's get you some breakfast. Let's get you out of here. So, hey, thanks for hanging around. I appreciate every eye, every ear, every click, every comment. So let us know what you think. Are we off base? Are we on? Is there deals you would do, wouldn't do? Hit us with your deals in the comments as well. We'll get to you. But Underdog, start there. Use code ALLGAS. You get your special pick. and your first time deposit bonus up to 1,000 in bonus cash. DDFFB, ddfantasyfootball.com. Use code TRADES, use code TRADEGOAT. Check it in the description below. Get 50% off your Discord tier membership and access to everything with the GOAT tier. Again, we have everything going on at DD. We're going to be doing some stuff on stages. We already had that live roster review. That was great. If you use those promo codes in the description, let us know. We'll get you a free roster review on the arm from me and Gabe. Gosh, we went for like over an hour on Sam's roster there and like past midnight. So we got a lot of love to give with the roster review. So let us know. Otherwise, you let us know. How are you climbing the wide receiver ladder? What are you trading for Bowers if it wasn't already clear? What are you doing to get into Bowers, or what's your sell now price? I hope you have a great week. Go Chiefs. I like the Birds too. I mean, they're fun. So I guess go Birds, but go Chiefs more. Go Taylor's team. Have a great one. What the dog doing? We got to get some music here to get us out of here, Gabe. Thank you. We love y'all. We out of this thing. Peace.